Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a long tutorial, so bear with me. I'm going over the Photoshop adjustment layer and also the steps for a control viewer's focus. Okay, so by now you should have total of 6 photographs. You should have 2 batches. You'll be creating 2 batches of these type of photographs, 3 all in the same row. So you can follow step by step. I've laid out text instruction. You can follow that or you can follow my video. So it says to create new document, landscape photo width of 12 inches by height of 6 inches and portrait 18 inches by height of 4 inches. You open up Photoshop, um, then go to File, New, um, go to File, New, okay. Name it, so your title and the composition that you've used. Okay, so the title, I'll call this wires, and underscore is shift underscore right beside the plus key. Okay, right beside the plus key. And the composition I've used for these photographs. So I've used informal balance. Okay, and now you're just gonna change the width and the height of this document. Okay, so width, that because this is portrait photograph, I'm going to use width of 12 and the height of 6. Okay, and you can change the format of it by clicking on this side here. Okay, pixels, inches, centimeters, you'll be picking inches. All right, this may look a bit different on Windows, but the layout should be somewhat similar. I'm using Mac right now. If you haven't watched the first tutorial already, I've already explained why I'm using Mac. And then after that, press OK. Should give you this nice white background, right? So to place 3 photographs that you've chosen, you go to File, Place, then you find where your photographs are. So it shouldn't be on there. Photo 20 should be, there you go, photo 10, photo mod 2. Oh no, yeah, it should be on their mod 2 folder. If it isn't, you need to move it right over. So mine's on their control focus. It's outside the mod 2 folder. I'm just gonna drag right in. Okay, you should move the folder within the mod 2. If you don't have control focus folder yet for your photographs, make sure you create it. Every time you start a new assignment, you're going to create a new folder. So you can just go right click and then new folder. Or for Windows, it'll be new and then there will be an arrow and it says make a new folder. So anyway, now that it's in here, we'll just go back to Photoshop, File, Place, go to Photo 10, Mod 2, and Control Focus, right? I have all these photographs here. I'm just going to go to Best Photographs. Best Photographs should be the place where you keep all your 6 photographs, all your 6 best photographs. Double click on it, just see the 3 photographs I've chosen. So you can place one at a time. So just click one, place. Okay, it should automatically fit the photograph inside your window. So this one, it's focused actually on the background. So I want my background to be on the very right side. I'm just clicking down on shift again, so it clicks right onto the document. Okay, so even if I move my mouse up and down, it's going to stay the same. It's gonna click to the very end. Right, now first one's done. Click on V or this mouse button here. Place file, yes, you want to place it. And then you go File, Place. Now second one, was it this one? I believe so. Yeah, so this is focused in the midground. Right, again, I'm pressing down Shift. Oops. If you made a mistake, Control Z. Right, place file, just click place. And if you want to move this photograph here, you see how there's like a little white edge. Click on that and try to move it a bit more up. And this one too. Right? And then third one, File, Place. This should be the foreground. right? The focus is in the front. Just gonna press down on shift and make sure that it clicks onto here. So now, now let's do the place first. So now you notice that there's like a little bit of a white space here. Now we want to get rid of it because it doesn't look very nice. I'm just gonna make sure that the top space is gone. See if that worked. Yep, perfect. So there's no white rim around the edges, and each the space between the photographs, there's no space, right? It's stuck together. Now I want to get rid of this white space here. I'm just gonna go to layer. Oh, my bad. Images and go trim. And make sure that it's clicked on. Well, for Mac, I'm not sure why this isn't showing the transparent pixels, but it just makes sure that it's clicked on the top left pixel color if your white pixel is on this side, bottom right if your white pixel is on this side. So if I have this white space on this side, you will click bottom right pixel color. Otherwise, I would click top left pixel color because the white pixel are on the top left, and that's what we want to trim, right? So press OK, and it should automatically trim it off, right? So next, we'll have to go over the adjustment layer. So adjustment layer is something that you can edit your photographs with within the Photoshop. This is why we love Photoshop, okay? So up at the top, you'll see adjustment tab, and underneath you'll see all these brightness, contrast, levels, curves, exposure, etc. Right? All of these editing tools. These are the photo editing tools that you can access easily. Right? So if you just click on the photograph and you want to put in brightness and contrast, then you can edit, right? And just drag along the edges and you can kind of see where you want your photograph to be. So this one's kind of underexposed. Just gonna raise the contrast a bit and just to play around with it and see if you like it or not, right? You notice that how it changed all three photographs. So if you wanted to change just this layer, you can actually drag this adjustment layer to like above just this photograph. You see how this has blacked out because it's not affected by this layer. So if you drag it up here, it should affect these two photographs, right? If you put it up here, oops, up here, then it should affect three of them. Now, if you only want this, if you only want to affect this photograph here, that means that even if you drag it up here, you'll affect these two immediately. So what you can do is using the brush tool, you can actually shade in wherever you don't want it to be. So do you notice this white box? So white box is where brightness and contrast is going to be affected. So if you want to control which part you want it to be affected, like I want to make this part darker or I want to make this part darker, you can actually select brush tool here, right above the stem tool. Make sure it's big enough size that you can see the circle. Opacity, I recommend around 80% for now. You can go 100%, but it looks awkward if you edit it that way. Then the color should be black. Okay, so if you click on this little box and just drag that circle there, press OK, right? So the top box should be black. And when you color over certain areas, right, these are the areas that your adjustment layer is not going to be affected. Right, so I have that, just playing around. You see how it has a drawing on top of this layer because we're playing on top of this specific layer. And we're basically coloring the white layer into black. And we're just telling that I don't want this part of the layer or part of the photograph to be affected by brightness and contrast layer. Okay, if you have a large area to cover, make sure the circle is bigger. I'm pressing the square bracket tool. So the right bracket tool, it makes it bigger. Left bracket tool, it makes it smaller. Okay, or you can just use this as well, right? You see this giant circle, you can just color this over. Then it actually just affects this photograph here. Oh, there's a giant circle that's drawn on, but you can also change it by changing the color of the box to white. Okay, and click on the brush tool, press on the square bracket so it goes smaller, left square bracket button, then just color that in to white. There you go. See, now it's only affecting the left side of the photograph. Okay, so that's the adjustment layer. There's various different types. There's hue saturation as well. You can change the purple, red, make it bright, and then lightness, darker, brighter. But I want it to be looking realistic, not like this. This is not very realistic. I want you guys to play around with these tools so that your photograph looks actually more amazing or more vibrant in terms of color. Okay, so if I wanted to affect just these two layers, I would again drag it down, right? So this is very important, playing around with the layers. Okay, so let's say that I like this. So there's more work to be done, but that's about it. So the next step is we placed it, and now we've done the adjustment layer. It says to save the file, right? So if you think that your photographs look amazing, then go to File, Save As, same name, but we're just gonna change the format. Okay, we're gonna save into JPEG, right? Just save as JPEG, save, press OK. Then there you go. There's your one batch of photographs done, and now you just have another one to do. This is my example here. This is the one I've used for the assignment. You see how I have several different adjustment layers. All of these layers made the photograph look a lot more interesting. My original one, I can show it to you guys. My original one looked like this. It's a bit darker, right? But this one's a bit more brighter, or like a bit more color. It has more a bit warmth, right? It's a bit more darker on this side. It has more contrast. So that's the power of adjustment layer. Play around with it, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me.